First impact. A long time ago, way before humans, dinosaurs, or even the first tiny life forms, something very big and very strange happened to Earth. This event is called the First Impact. It's like the very first chapter in the big story of Neon Genesis Evangelion. A giant ball from space crashed into the Earth. This ball was called the Black Moon, and it was carrying a being named Lilith. Lilith is super important because she is the reason life, including people like us, even exists on Earth. But here's the twist. Lilith wasn't supposed to come to Earth at all. Earth already had another special space being on it, called Adam, who had landed earlier inside another big object called the White Moon, in what we now call Antarctica. These two beings, Adam and Lilith, are called seeds of life. They were sent out into space by an ancient alien race called the First Ancestral Race. Their rule was simple. Only one seed of life was allowed on each planet. Oops! Now Earth had two seeds of life. That's like two cooks trying to make completely different dishes in the same kitchen. It just doesn't work. To stop a huge mess from happening, a powerful tool called the Lance of Longinus was used to put Adam to sleep. This gave Lilith the chance to fill Earth with her kind of life, eventually leading to humans. The big crash from the Black Moon hitting Earth also caused something else, the creation of our moon. Pieces of Earth flew into space during the crash and came together to form the moon we see in the sky today. Second impact. The second impact was one of the scariest events in the Evangelion story. It happened on September 13th, 2000 in a place called Antarctica, the coldest place on Earth. A group of scientists, led by Dr. Katsuragi, went on a special mission to study Adam. Adam came from space a long time ago and was sleeping inside the White Moon. The scientists wanted to learn more about Adam and do an experiment to mix human DNA with his. That was a very dangerous idea. When the experiment started, something went terribly wrong. Adam woke up and the explosion that followed was so huge that it melted the ice in Antarctica, shifted Earth's axis, and caused massive floods and tsunamis. More than 2 billion people died in just the first few days. It was the worst disaster the world had ever seen. Before he died, Dr. Katsuragi put his daughter Misato into an escape pod to save her. She was the only one from the team who survived. The world changed forever after the second impact. Countries started fighting each other because people were scared, hungry, and trying to survive. There were wars, nuclear bombs, and more people died. Half of the people on Earth were gone. Whole cities disappeared underwater. The weather also got weird. In Japan, summer never ended and it was always hot. But here's the creepy part. Most people were told a lie. They were told that the disaster was caused by a small, super fast meteorite, but that wasn't true at all. The truth was hidden by a secret group called Seelie. They wanted Adam to go back to sleep in a baby-like form so he wouldn't meet other powerful beings called angels. Seelie believed this would help them carry out their plan to change all of humanity into one single life form. They didn't care that billions of people would die. Later, another group called Nerve was created to fight the angels. They built giant robot-like beings called Evangelions to protect what was left of Earth. Kids, including Shinji, Asuka, and Rei, were chosen to pilot them. Near Third Impact. The Near Third Impact happened at the end of the movie Evangelion 2.0. Even though it wasn't the full third impact, it still caused a lot of damage and changed everything. Shinji was the pilot of the Evangelion Unit 1. His friend Rei was trapped inside the 10th angel, and Shinji was desperate to save her. Even though his robot had no power left, Shinji's strong feelings made the robot come back to life in a strange and powerful way. It started glowing, growing wings, and even got a third eye on its head. Shinji fought really hard and pulled Rei out of the angel. But at the same time, something really weird happened. Rei turned into a huge glowing figure made of the angel's blood and fused with the robot. The sky turned red, energy waves shot out, and the ground started shaking. The world was about to end. This was the beginning of the third impact, which could have wiped out all life on Earth. But just in time, another pilot named Kaworu showed up. He came down from space in his own robot, Evangelion Mark 6, and stopped everything by throwing a giant spear into Shinji's robot. The destruction stopped, but the damage was already done. In the next movie, Evangelion 3.0, Shinji finds out what really happened. Most of the world was ruined, and many people were gone. The land had changed. Strange red energy was everywhere, and scary ghost-like creatures called Failures of Infinity had appeared. Kaworu told Shinji that his actions had caused all this, even though Shinji only wanted to save Rei. Later, we learned that a man named Ryoji Kaji gave up his life to stop the full third impact from finishing. Without him, the world might have been completely destroyed. Even though it was stopped halfway, near third impact still hurt the planet very badly. The near third impact was not part of the plan that Seelie wanted. They had their own plan to merge all humans into one being called the Human Instrumentality Project, but Shinji's actions made everything go out of control. Third impact. The third impact happened at the end of Evangelion, and this wasn't just a big explosion, it was about turning all people into one single being. As you know, Shinji pilots Evangelion Unit 1. This robot is the only one that could start something called Human Instrumentality, a plan to mix all people's souls together so no one feels lonely anymore. Sounds peaceful, right? But it would also mean no one is a person anymore. Everyone would lose their bodies and become part of a gooey soup called LCL. Seelie wanted to make instrumentality happen. They tried to take control of everything to start the third impact impact. First, they sent soldiers to attack Nerve, which was protecting Shinji and the robot. Many people were hurt. Shinji was sad, scared, and confused. Meanwhile, another character named Gendo had his own plan. He wanted to use third impact to see his wife again, who had died long ago. He tried to use Rei, connected to Lilith, to make it happen, but Rei didn't agree with him. She chose to listen to Shinji instead. Rei turned into a giant glowing being, and together with Shinji's robot, the third impact began. Everyone on Earth started to turn into LCL as their bodies disappeared. Their souls were pulled into a giant black space called the Chamber of Guff. It looked like Shinji had become godlike. He could decide the future of the whole world. At first, Shinji gave up. He felt sad and thought life was too painful. But then he realized that pain is part of being human, and it's okay to feel sad sometimes. It means you're alive. He decided that it's better to live and be yourself than to lose everything just to avoid feeling hurt. Because of this choice, the third impact stopped. The giant ray disappeared, and the world slowly started to return to normal. Shinji was the first to come back. He woke up in a strange red sea. The only other person there was Asuka. The world wasn't fully fixed, and we don't know how many people came back. But because of Shinji's decision, humanity had a second chance. Fourth impact. The fourth impact is another huge event in the Evangelion story. It happens in the movie Evangelion 3.0 and continues in Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.2. Many years after the third impact, things are still bad. The world is a mess and people live in fear. Evangelion Unit 13 pulls out two glowing spears from Lilith, which is stuck together with another robot, Mark 6. When the spears are removed, Lilith explodes into red liquid and something dangerous is set free, the 12th angel, a powerful monster. Evangelion Unit 13 eats this angel and becomes super strong. It turns white, grows glowing rings above it called halos, and shoots out giant spikes. That's when the fourth impact starts. A big gate opens in the sky. This is the Gate of Guff, a magical place where all human souls go. A black sphere called the Black Moon begins to rise from the ground, getting ready to mix all human souls together again, just like during the third impact. Kaworu tries to stop everything. He uses the spears to stab Unit 13 and even lets himself die to save the world. But the impact doesn't stop right away because Shinji is still connected to the robot. Thankfully, a pilot named Mari helps pull Shinji out of the robot just in time. After both pilots are out, the robot shuts down and the fourth impact is stopped. For now. Additional impact. The additional impact is the last big world-changing event in the Evangelion story. It happens at the very end of the movie Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0. This impact was started by Gendo Ikari, Shinji's father. Gendo wanted to finish something called human instrumentality, a plan to combine all people into one being. He believed this would end sadness, pain, and loneliness forever. But deep down, Gendo just wanted to be with his wife, Yui, who had been gone for a long time. To do this, Gendo became part of Evangelion 13 and traveled to a strange place called Minus Space with Unit 1 and two powerful weapons called the Spears of Longinus. While inside Minus Space, he met Shinji, his own son, who had come to stop him. Shinji and Gendo fought, not just with fists, but with their feelings. During their battle, Shinji found a way to change one of the spears into its original form, the Spear of Cassius. These two spears, when brought together, could start the additional impact. Then something strange happened. Gendo showed Shinji a mysterious being called Evangelion Imaginary. It looked a little like Rei Ayanami, but with a floating head and hands. This being had the power to carry out human instrumentality now that another being, Lilith, was gone. Evangelion Imaginary went through the gates of Guff. Once it did, the final version of human instrumentality began. All the human souls and creatures called the failures of infinity started to merge into one. But Shinji didn't want this. He wanted to fix everything and give people the choice to live their own lives. With help from Misato and the crew of the ship Wunder, who sacrificed themselves, a new weapon was created, the Spear of Gaius. The Wunder attacked Evangelion Imaginary and gave the new spear to Shinji. Shinji used the Spear of Gaius to undo all the bad things from the past impacts. He helped others like Kaworu, Rei, Asuka, and even his dad find peace. Then he used the spear to destroy Evangelion Imaginary and remove all Evangelions from the world. And just like that, the long and painful story of the Evangelions finally came to an end, with hope.
Why?